do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, please. And right up here, the bell. That's important. Lets you know when we're doing this. Today is the last day I stab myself on these stupid exhaust tips. Look what we're about to install. Supercar status right here for the turbo boat. Look at that. Yeah. When we built these tips here in Finnegan's garage, and they suck, dude. Every time you're working back here on something to do with the jet drive or fuel system or whatever, you're getting stabbed. It's ridiculous. So that all ends today. We're taking these off and we're going to fab a new stainless steel exhaust outlet with that badass tip center mounted right here, so we can get to each side of the boat and no more pokey. So this is a wastegate dump. This is 2.5 inch diameter tubing. That's right. What most of you probably have for exhaust, this is just the vent for the side of the wastegate. The actual exhaust on this boat is a pair of 4-inch diameter stainless steel pipes. Basically, that's what the back of the boat's gonna look like now. I'm gonna cut up a bunch of mandrel bends that I got from stainlessheaders.com. They're gonna snake over here and connect here to here, and then yeah, this is what people are gonna see. And when it's on a two-step shooting fireballs out of here, that's gonna look cool too. So we've got 180-degree mandrel bends that we can cut in half. That'll give us 90-degree bends. I got some 45s. I got V-bend clamps. We'll cut all this up here, tack it together on the boat, and then we'll go over to the bench and finish weld it. There's only one radius for these big 4-inch 304 stainless bends, so that's our option for getting, if you cut it on a 90, it's got to go there. And if you cut another 90, it's got to go there. So this tip's going to end up probably further back.
Which is fine. I mean, it'll still look way better.
Yeah, so first things first is cut this in half so we have 90s. And then get this kind of mocked up and in place, and then just start playing with Legos. Metal Legos.
There it is. It came out really good. This is really smooth. I didn't cut it, didn't gouge it. Everything's uniform. I used some really coarse Scotch-Brite to sand it down and get it perfectly smooth.
As you can see, we've got our tip mocked up here. It's just tacked in place. Here's something I want to show you guys. This tip came with V-band clamps already on the inlet side of it, and we ended up having to cut them off because we wanted the tip directly over the transom of the boat. We didn't want it hanging too far out back here because it's a lot of leverage. It's a lot of tubing, it's a lot of weight hanging back here, and it's just waiting to crack if you don't support it. And we would have had to support it on the jet pump, which doesn't look cool, and it would have meant one more thing to disassemble when you have to service either the jet pump or the exhaust or anything back here. So we cut those really nice V-band flanges off, and then we used our Furic markout tool to figure out what we could do with a 90-degree mandrel bend to tuck the tip as close to the exit of our precision turbos as we could. And so this is a 4-inch 90-degree 6-inch centerline bend that we got from obviously Stainless Headers. And when you cut that up, that moves the tip essentially right here. We're coming directly out the back of it right here. Our original plan was to use 45s and have this really cool looking angular exhaust system. But as you can see, if you stick a 45 on here, it straightens out, and then if you used some tubing and another 45, basically this tip would have ended up way out here. And we even experimented with cutting a 90 kind of in the middle around 70 degrees. We experimented a lot. Ultimately what we ended up with was taking these 90-degree bends, cutting them as short as we could on the straight part, and basically on one end in here we took an inch off of it. Where the tube straightened out, we cut it back another inch because the inside of this V-band clamp is actually bigger. So although when you cut back into the radius part of this, the tubing isn't round anymore, you can hammer and dolly it and still get it back inside the V-band and shorten this 90 even more, and that's how we ended up with the tip right here. The downside of that obviously is instead of having a V-band here and a V-band here, we now only have a V-band here. So later, when we go to do the exits for the wastegates where they come in here, I think we're going to probably end up going back and putting a V-band on here, even though it eats up real estate. Otherwise, this tip wants to come off this way, but the exit of the wastegate is in the opposite plane and then turning this way. And so getting this off and pulling this in, it probably isn't going to work out too well. So we'll put a V-band back on here. We'll finish weld all of this. And then, as you can see right now, this is just tacked together and it's solid. It's really solid. But so by the time we put these 2.5-inch pipes on the outlets of the wastegates, this thing probably won't need any additional support. And it looks really cool. I'm excited. Look at this. It's amazing. And it's not crooked. And it's really strong.
Hello?
Hey, baby.
Shit.
Come on to us. Down here, earn a living.
Don't mind me with your huge thing of Chick-fil-A.
Oh, Chick-fil-A. Okay, we're going to take a short break here while I have Chick-fil-A for lunch. And then I'll tell you about why this is so rad and how we screwed it up. We're back from lunch. It was good too. Let's see. Exciting times, okay? As I pointed out, it's done and it's solid. And this was a huge learning experience. Mostly because we learned how much stainless steel moves around when you weld it and when the tubes are kind of long. So these wastegate pipes, they're 0.67 wall thick, I think. And we did them twice because tacked it all together on the boat, fit fine, took both of them over there, welded them fully out on the table, came back, they were a half-inch too short. And just because of the heat, just because everything moved, it was crazy. So we made a new set, put them on, and I welded the bulk of it without back purging it and without taking it off the boat. And so I'm stoked because some of my best stainless welds are on the 4-inch tubes. Some of my worst stainless welds ever are on these tubes because I had to weld them on the boat, which kind of sucked. But like I said, I couldn't back purge them on the boat, but this is the outlet of the wastegate. I'm not really worried about it. If it was the inlet side, like the headers going from the engine into the turbos, I would for sure back purge them like I did before because I don't want all that crystallized metal in there breaking off and going through my turbos. So this is done. This is together. We're now going to go back to the lake. And if the weather cooperates, we're going to go out there and see if we can go faster, because we fixed a bunch of other problems that you haven't even seen in this video. We had gaskets blown out in the jet drive. We had header gaskets that were blown out and leaking badly in our headers. We ended up actually cutting the 3/8 thick flanges off of both headers and replacing them with 1/2-inch thick flanges that we got from Sonny Leonard to fix that problem. And we also got another shoe from B1 Racing, put that under the boat. That shoe is thicker, it's lower in the water, it should put more water to the jet drive. So we've done all of these things, and the boat should run better, it should go faster. But really, I gotta admit, I just want to see, will it shoot fire, you know, when we put on the two-step. I don't know, let's find out. Do you think he likes drag boats?
We better find out.
Just to recap, we have rebuilt our headers. We have added that sweet exhaust tip, which is probably doing nothing more than changing the way this sounds. We have turned on the two-step. We have put a new shoe in the boat that's going to pick up more water. We've actually changed the nozzle on the back of the boat. We'll talk about that probably at the end of the video. And I think we should be able to park this thing in one position, flat-footed on the two-step, then open up the bucket and take off. And for once, the sun is shining and the water is flat, so I feel good about our chances of actually going wide open, because truth be told, I never actually got wide open once we got boost in the boat. I went back and looked at the data and it was like 80%. So yeah, I'll try to grow a pair today.
So basically, we've lost reverse. We don't have reverse anymore because you want to hold it steady so you can hole shot it.
Yeah, we put what's called a neutral bucket on the back of the boat. So instead of the water going out under the boat to make it go backwards, the water will shoot out to the side. So when that bucket's closed, if you floor it and put it on a two-step rev limiter, the boat should sit still. It should pop and fart and make boost, and then I open that up and take off like I shot out of a cannon. That's today's goal. What's going on, Noobski?
Right now the water is absolutely perfect. The weather's perfect, the lake is dead. Perfect time to go boating. But the battery said, nah.
Dude, I think our battery's got the Rona. That's so weird. Actually, I think this was my fault. I charged the battery all day yesterday, fired the boat up once, and then might have left the battery switch on all night, which means maybe there's a draw somewhere on this boat. I don't know. Shouldn't be, but I believe our PC 925 is smoked because it's only got 6 volts today.
Okay, 6.8, perfect.
I've never seen a battery that was at 12 volts at 6.8 volts the next day. That's impressive. I'll get the other one.
Not doing anything now. Alright, it doesn't like the two-step. I forgot to turn on the data logger. So I have to do that again now.
Oh no.
Good news is it liked it. The bad news is the GoPros weren't on and neither was the data recorder.
Please tell me the GoPros are on.
They're on.
You were wrong.
One of the passes I turned the data recorder on. Yay!
Sweet.
One of the passes wasn't the last pass. Went wide open. And? Needs more work. It's not fast enough.
Oh my goodness. It's bananas. Let me give you some figures. That was wide open throttle, but apparently I had the gas pedal out of the boat, put it back in, so we weren't quite getting wide open, but that was 90% throttle, 6,500 RPM with the biggest impeller I can put in that jet pump, 8 pounds of boost, and it went 0 to 113 miles an hour in like 4 seconds. And it's fun. We totally failed to put this thing on a two-step and shoot fireballs. We need to figure that out. But I really don't care. This video is total success because the new exhaust looks awesome, sounds great, didn't fall off the boat, and we now have a certifiable ripper right here on our hands. So next time we go out, I mean, more fun. I think we should go water skiing, I think we should go tubing. I think it needs more boost and a couple more adjustments because after about 4 seconds, the jet pump runs out of water again. So more tweaking there, but for now, enjoy more hole shot videos because those are just fun to watch. And we'll see you next time on Finnegan's Garage.